everyone. Surprise, surprise. I'm doing a video in not early morning. I've just thought about when I did that real short video on my version of the herringbone. Something I didn't, I guess I should have thought before I did that it might be confusing on how it goes together, and at least of my version. There's lots of wonderful videos out there of channel creators doing the herringbone, but it's the traditional one. It's the one, and I didn't want to do mine that way. But I'll take you step by step how this version of mine is created. And it may look confusing, and I left it here so you could see when I cut it off. I did that, cut a shorter piece so that you can see. And so what you're doing is, when you create this length here, that length is based on how long do you want it. Like these ones are shorter. See, some are shorter, and that's just how I designed it. But you don't have to. And this is here. Let me get my little design board. Okay, what you're doing. Get over here. Okay, you have now my strips. These are 2.5 inch strips that I just did from scrap fabric. Okay, these are 9 inches long by 2.5. And then I just sewed a 1 inch piece of fabric to one side of it. And how I came up with the 9 inches is, my strip is 2.5. When you add a 1 inch strip, it creates this here, from here to here is 3 inches. So from there, if you multiply 3 inches times 3, that's 9. So that's where I came up with this 9 inch piece. I mean, you don't have to do this sashing, and if you don't do the sashing, you're still going to do the same thing. If your strip is 2.5 inches, you're going to multiply that times 3 to give the length that this strip needs to be. And how you sew them together to get it to look like this, it can be a little confusing, but it's not. And this is the other reason I sewed this the sashing to it, because it helped it for me to be less confusing. Okay, so what I did, okay, you have this piece with the sashing, okay, and they just fell on the floor. And hold on, let me pick them up. That's what I get for sticking them up here. Okay, let me just get these picked up here. I'll stick a pin in you. Stay on the board. Oh, let me see. Okay, let me get this pink one. And I just did these from scraps I had. You could actually piece a bunch of little strips together, all different kinds of colors, or make crumbs and sew a bunch of crumbs together and do that. That's why I like doing the scrappy, because you're not matching colors. You're just going after a design of something. So the colors don't have to necessarily match. They could be opposite ends of the spectrum if you'd like. You could use, like this one is, I don't even know what color that is. It's not, if I put it against red, it turns like an orange color, but you put it against an orange and it turns red. Here, let me show you. This one's orange. Well, maybe it doesn't turn orange. Yeah, it does. See, you put it against, well, no, I guess it doesn't. Okay, so it is orange. Okay, shows what I know. It is orange. To me, it just looks red, but then my eyes are really not the greatest anyway. So yeah, I guess that is an orange. And those little flowers, I don't know what color I guess maybe they are a little. Well, see, you put it against that, and they look pink, but here was the strength, and those little flowers are a pink color. Because see, I could put this pink, and you could see they're almost the same color as that pink. But you take that away and put it against a yellow, like my sashing is a bright yellow. It's almost a gold color. It's more of gold than it is. But you put it there, and it turns those little flowers, they almost look like a light yellow. So I just thought the fabric was cool. It was just some scraps I had, and I just cut these. Be a great way to get rid of, like if you have some jelly roll colors that you just don't really go with anything or whatever, make strips out of them. And like I said, these are 9 inches long by 2.5. And I just sewed a 1 inch wide sashing to it. You don't, like I said, you don't have to do the sashing, but it helped me to be able to see how the herringbone goes together a little more. So otherwise it was one of those things of you do what you got to do so you're not confused. So we're going to take 2 of these, okay? Okay, we got 2. Well, let me turn this one over. Okay, what you want is this strip right here. You're going to flip it over like this. So it is on the bottom like this. Okay? And here's it. And again, the 2 colors you choose to go with each other, it don't really matter. What you're doing is creating one of these. Whoops, sorry. Okay, you're creating one of these. You're just creating your very beginning one, which is will be down here. You're creating a very beginning one, okay? So let me move these other strips off of here so I can make this thing go like it's supposed to. Okay. And what I tried to do was, when I made the strips, as you could see, once one side will have a light, the other side a dark. It just a darker color. And then when I sew the next one on, the side with the light will have the dark, the light will have the dark. Does that make sense? And then up here, see, I did 2 darks together, which I tried not to do. So the next one had 2 lights. And then this one, a darker one, and this one was a light, so I put a dark. And it just was my version of alternating. I mean, you could do all darks on one side, like all these would be a dark color, all these would be a light, then these ones would be a light and dark, and then the next one would be dark and light. Just a different variation, and it would create like a shadow effect, and to where it looks like it would go in. And I just never thought about that till just now. But anyway, I did iron these little things. Okay, so you've got this one turned upside down. Okay, this is what you're after. Okay, let me show you. Let me pull. See, that creates your L. And what you do is you sew like this. You line it up on the top. You're lining up on the top and the side like this. So on this side only, just this little tiny bit, because all you're doing is wanting to catch this. So you're going to sew, and if you, let me pull it over. See, that's what you're going to sew, is this side here. Okay? I don't have any sewed together, so okay. So then when you, I'm gonna flip this over so I can actually go up this board. Okay, so you've sewn it together here. You're gonna open it up. Okay, we're sewn together. And we're going to turn it like it's supposed to be. Okay. We're sewed together here. Let's pretend we're sewed together. Okay. Okay, now, if you think back to how a log cabin is built, you go from one side to the other, one side to the other. Okay, this was the piece you sewed on. Okay, and let me move these down just a little bit so I can go up further for you. Okay, come on, stick together, make it look like you're sewed together. Okay, so you have something that looks like that. This was the last one you sewed on. See, it goes over the top of this one. So you're just going to pick a color. Let's go with, I don't have a lot here. Remember, mine have the sashing. So you're going to want to put your sashing to this side. And yeah, these colors are kind of, but okay. So actually, you know what? Let's do switch. Let's put a lighter color. There we go. Let's put a lighter one so you could actually see. Okay, see, we're starting to make it. So this one, you're going to sew all the way down to here. When you open it up, this is what you have. Now, if you look, you have one on this side and two on this side, but only one on this side. And because this one goes over the top of the other one. Okay, now let's find a dark one. Let's get that red one back up here. Okay, and again, your sashing goes towards this chevron thing. Okay, do you see how it's working? Okay, and then the next one will go here. Let's find, and because from me, because this one was a light, oh, it's little, what that is little tiny hearts. Okay, so I find a dark one. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to sew it, sew this piece to here. Okay, and then we got one that goes this way. And I don't know if I have any more light strips cut. I don't. But that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. This is just for, I'm not going to sew. Oh, I don't want a red one together. Oh, actually, I got a light strip here. Kind of, sort of. It's kind of light. I don't have, these are just ones because I hadn't decided whether I was going to put another couple of panels on that. And now you have like this. Okay, now that we need, oh, I don't have any more, but that's okay. And like this. No, we're gonna have to put, no, we'll put these flowers back up there. Okay, looks like this. There you go. See, and what you want to make sure is this would be a panel. Now you can see how it's going up. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, but only 1, 2, 3 on this side. So you need to add another one, and let's add this. Let's add this purple one. Like I said, I don't have a lot of these cut out because I didn't want to cut a bunch more and then realize that I didn't want to do anymore. Okay, that's the chevron. That's the part of the broken bone. Now, here is the one I did because I didn't want to mess with sewing the next panel together. What you can do is you can go through here. Now, let's pretend that I got a string on there. Let's pretend that, well, okay, each one of these sides on mine, this is a side. Each one of those has 20. There's 20 on each side. 20, 20, 20. There's 20 of these 9-inch strips on each side. And this length thing, this creates what is called a panel, or what I call it a panel. I don't really know what it's really called. So what I did is just took my ruler Remember, it's not sewed together. I just took my ruler. Whoops. Now the ruler is not going to slide. Here, I'm trying to keep this in the thing. I just took my ruler and went straight across, and you're just cutting off those. See, you're going to cut off all these pieces beyond this. You could go over a little more, but you just kind of make it straight. However, you could use however to make it straight, and then just cut those off. And you do that to each side, and that creates a flat side. And then you do the same thing down here. So you're going to create right straight across. And yes, I know you lose part of it on the bottom, and if you're worried about losing that part of the bottom and you still want 20, just add another one to the top. Then you're not losing the length you want. But that's pretty much the gist of creating this one here that I created. It can be confusing, because after I looked at that, I went, you know what, how many people did I really confuse and make it look like it was really hard? And for those I did that to, I am truly sorry, because that's not what it was meant to be. I don't want to ever create something and show it and then make it look like an intimidation thing, because I'm not, you know, I've been sewing for 50 plus years, but I would never ever in my life say that I'm fully experienced no. And anybody that does, well, I suppose if they do, they do. There's I don't know. I just do what I do because of what I like. And yes, my eyesight continues to go. Sometimes I see, other times I'm like, and I'm sure what many of you have seen, my eyes, they'll start veering off, and I have to close my eyes so they come back. And it's just one of those things. I don't notice it, but other people have. It's hard for me to look at somebody because my eyes will do this. And that's why you'll see my eyes sometimes wandering off to the side. And that's why I kind of keep my eyes down so people can't see it. But it is what it is. But I thought I would give you a short thing of how I put this together. And hopefully that helps you so it's not so confusing. Because it's not really, once you start that first initial start, then everything just kind of sews together. And you can make it as long as you want. You can make it short. And hey, that might look cool. Just make it short like this. Make it little. And then go that way as a table runner. Oh, that would look really cool. Oh, wow. And then on the, and the little things you cut off, like the little deals you cut off, or put some flying geese, or instead of like most borders that are multicolored, because this is part of ones that I'll show you. I'll make another video of another one I'm doing. Like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Like, this is just I don't know, mixed menagerie of fabrics as a border. Well, instead of making it like straight across, maybe crooked. Maybe crooked. Maybe, you know, maybe it goes crooked or not totally straight, or, you know, there's just a mixed menagerie of sceneries you can use to go around. Or you can make, I don't know, make a, like for the corner pieces, make a little tiny miniature pinwheel, and the rest is just plain. but you make a little pinwheel, or make little tiny miniature pinwheels, which is done with 4 half square triangles. You just flip them, and you can make a tiny one. A 2-inch half square triangle is interesting to try to maneuver. I did it, and I actually did one that was 1 inch. I don't want to do that again. It's just way too hard. They're so tiny, and when you try to sew them together, you're losing, because then you end up with only this little tiny thing. You can't even tell what it is. So that's what I figured. Well, I don't want to go any smaller than 2 inches is the smallest I want to go. I prefer the 2.5 inch or bigger. The bigger ones are a lot of fun, but they're a lot of fabric. It takes more to make them when they're that large, but the little tiny ones you can do out of scraps. But this is why I did this. I had some scraps, and it's like, you know what? I need to. They start getting to me when I have a little too many. I have a drawer down there. When that drawer fills up, it's like, okay, no, I got to do something with them, and I really didn't feel like sewing them all together like a piece of fabric. I was like, nope, I'm going to make strips out of these. And you could even sew, like if you had a bunch this color, like this is that color, you could piece them together. It's not going to hurt anything. You know, it's only what your imagination can bring to the surface. And I know sometimes it's hard to come up with an idea, or that's why so many people do what they call those sample quilts, to where it's just no 2 blocks are the same. It's just a combination of different blocks, whether it's a half square triangle. You could even do it as a, what would be called, I believe, a mixed media concept, where you could sew 1 block, then do 1 block as hand sewing, or 1 block is a crochet block, but you're sticking them all together. And all it is, it's not really for everybody else, it's for your own personal, to say, look what I can do. And you're after, look at, I did this. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. You're just doing something that you like, and it makes you feel good about yourself. So that is the breakdown of how I created this. Hopefully it didn't confuse people anymore, because it's not. It looks like it's really confusing to put together, but it's really not. It's at least but then I don't know, I didn't think so, but then again, it took me a long time to be able to do flying geese to where I understood it. And flying geese are still not my favorite, but I understand them. But I had to come up with a way for me to do them so that I understood how they're done. And I don't do it with, there's little sheets of paper you could buy, and I didn't want to do it that way. So again, everybody, hit the like and subscribe button, and I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful day, and bring all those happy thoughts with you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye-bye.